Hello, I'm here to share something that has affected me personally and hurt others. This was very hard for me, but I feel it is necessary. Please do not send hate to anyone on my behalf. This is all I want to say. I wanted to share my experience with Sinder and Red manipulating me, using me and dragging me into drama while sabotaging, slandering and spreading lies about people I thought were her closest friends. Red asked me to cancel on one of their closest friends by asking me to cancel my work mid-progress, manipulating me into thinking it is okay since she has many connections. I hope everything makes sense and everyone who has been hurt, manipulated, or sabotaged by her will find closure.
We got spicy VTuber drama. Good morning everyone. Get ready for this video to make your Saturday even better. I've just come across some insane allegations coming from the VTuber community, or to be more specific, concerning one VTuber known as Sinder, who has been exposed for her shady practices against her friends. For context, this is 3D model artist known as Nanoless, aka Nano, and they came out recently to talk about how Sinder and a manager, a guy called Redacted, or just Red, and how they were feeding them gossip to push them away from other clients just so they can only work for Sinder. Here's a quick rundown of the lies being fed to the artist. Number one, a friend of theirs called Bao being super slimy and stealing other workers from them. Number two, another friend called Shy Lily also being super slimy by ghosting them and bailing randomly on projects. And third of all, this is more like a practice they did on the artist, but they coerced them to ditch those VTubers, those clients, and burn those bridges just so they can work for Sinder and only for her. So this response from Nano was like very recent, just from today at 6:42 a.m. at least here in the UK, and they said, "Hello, I'm here to share something that has affected me personally and hurt others. It was very hard for me, but I feel it's necessary. Please do not send hate to anyone on my behalf. That's all I want to say." And you click on this. It's a pretty long, it's not that long actually, just 22 pages actually, never mind. And they said, introduction and notes, "I want to share my experience with Sinder and Red manipulating me, using me, and dragging me into drama while sabotaging, slandering, and spreading lies about people that I saw were closest friends." And that part, that is true. Okay, let me go over like the actual first list, of what was being alleged. Oh my god, yeah, that's right. So the first drama, that will feed into Nano was that one of the VTuber, Bao, I said, was stealing their editor, for the project because they were super envious of, Sinder and her huge success. Let me pull it up. Yeah, so it starts here. So this is the manager, Redacted, but to make it easier for me, I'll just call him Red. And it starts around here. Bao has been getting on our nerves for a while. She hijacked our YouTube editor for a while ago and is constantly picking up artists that we work with. Ooh, so they're a copycat, allegedly. They're not. We've gotten to know her better being friends with her, but she really rubs us the wrong way with the things she does. And the first, accusation was, like I said before, stealing an editor for a music video. And here's the first anecdote that he fabricated. "Well, we love working with you. Sinder wouldn't be Sinder without Nano." Okay, but I hate this fucking style of writing. Let me tell you about about the music video thing. Bao had original songs last year that had MVs by her editor, and the songs flopped. They fucking sucked. Her editor met us at TwitchCon and was saying that he loved to work with us, practically jumping through hoops to get something planned. We managed to have him squeeze in a Bosch's MV between his work with Bao. He says he loved working on it and is super excited to work on the next MV project. Bosch's song blows up and he's credited as the editor. And then I ask him when he's free to do the next project. All of a sudden, he changes his mind and is only working with Bao going forward. No explanation. Wow, this random story about Bao sounds really shitty, It's so ironic. Okay, let me spoil real quick. That was not true at all, because then Bao made her own document. I'll put in a second, explain this. But they're blaming, Bao as being super slimy for stealing workers. Meanwhile, they literally, asked Nano to also, ditch projects so they can have her, as the only artist for Sinder, because they really like the art style. Oh yeah, as well. They said Bao they have a way of guilt-tripping people to get away, whatever. And then when Nano was working with Bao for a project, for a 3D model, they were being like, "Hey Nano, you ought to drop that to work for us." Like it says right here. "Did you cancel models?" "I did not." Nano Arcdalechu 2026. "I'm scared you cancel with Bao." "You shouldn't be. She has so many connections, she'll find someone super fast." "Did you already design her outfit?" "I remember her showing to us a WeepCon. Yeah, I can give her a design for free as an apology gift." Oh my, and bear in mind, publicly in the community, from my knowledge, Bao and Sinder, are working very close. Okay, if you believe, that this guy Red is acting, like a free agent, he's not, because they said also in this document made by Nano that it's very likely, or 100%, that everything that Red said came directly from Sinder, so that there's no mixed connections. So any intention that Red has definitely came from Sinder. There's not a mix-up at all. Like it says right here, note, based on working with Redacted, Cinder's manager, and Cinder over the years, that I am sure they speak for each other, and there is no reason to believe Red was acting without Cinder's consent and knowledge. But there you go. And you have proof right here where Nano said, "Hey Cinder, hope you're doing okay. I talked with Red, I believe he talked to you already, and so it would be best if I just check here personally." And he was like, oh, what did Red say? And then they showed proof, and they're like, oh yeah, that's right, that is true. He ran that by me, or I told him before. So once again, no mixed connections, they're definitely just working together. So any shit practice, that Red pushed on Nano, it definitely came from Cinder. I mean, with all the proof here, yeah, I believe it. And then this is so goddamn funny. Furthermore, another friend they had, in the community that they were backstabbing, by trying to ruin the connections was another VTuber called Shy Lily. And it reads like this, where they were ghosting Cinder and dipping on them. Hey Nano, do you have more plans with Lily besides just the model, like outfits or merch or anything? Been just the model so far. Okay. And just because Nano mentioned working for Shy Lily, they're worried about that. Okay, her asking you for a model just recently just made the antenna go up. She's been acting weird towards Cinder lately, and we don't know if something going on. Oh, that's so weird. Ever since after VCAR launched, but what do you consider weird? This is the one point, where they allege what happened with Shy Lily, but they show no proof. So I'm not gonna say that this section is true or not, because I've got no proof myself. However, there's more to convey how slimy they are directly. Just like going around, spreading tea, spreading gossip about a random friend, where they're all friendly on the community, but internally on Discord, they're trying to sabotage connection with Nano, so that they don't work with each other anymore. And they said lately dipping off collabs they were both a part of at the last minute, and now ghosting her messages. Cinder's raided her a couple of times in the past week, and Lily won't acknowledge Cinder by name. Ooh, sounds worrying. But the one accusation that was debunked was this one, where Cinder raided Lily's stream and she wasn't acknowledging her, because there's bad blood or whatever. Except that's not true, because there's a clip of that right here.
Ignore what you just saw.
Give it a second, hold on, it's worth it, guys.
Okay. Ooh! Oh my goodness! Hello! Oh! Hello, raiders! Hello! I'm playing.
Okay, that's enough autism for that. But yeah, generally that's the one debunking. However, like I said before, there's more to paint a pattern of behavior where they spread lies about other people and their friends, just so that Nano doesn't work with them and only works with Cinder. And the reason why, I mean, it makes a bit of sense, is because Nano has a really good art style. However, they want that art style to only be the brand of Cinder and nobody else. I might pull up the message, but I think that part makes sense. However, the way they went about it, lying about people and trying to get Nano isolated, yeah, that's the one part, that's really shitty. Because they said right here, well, I think the main things we're looking for are for you to not take any brand new model clients and to not make any new models outfits with, or whatever. Whenever you see a blank here, that means another VTuber or artist that they don't want to be involved in this. But yeah, then that's a person. You still be able to work on the model's outfits with all your other existing babies, and your artwork comms wouldn't be affected. So I think that part's not that bad, but then be like, hey, you can work with your current clients, but to make a contract, don't work with new people, because we want you to be part of the brand. However, it's a bit hypocritical, because they're saying, keep with the current clients, but on the other side, they're spreading gossip, making them sound like really shitty, just so that Nano would not work with them because of the bad reputation they were taught about. Yeah, just super shitty, especially when it comes to people that you're friends with in the community, and fans see them, as having good connections via streams, all that stuff. Just makes no sense. And to be completely fair, I don't mind the contract they have, or the hypothetical contract where they said right here, we could do it like when blank asks for art, you tell her no, and then tell us to buy another art piece, so you still get a job from it. So honestly, I think if they weren't like really bad about this, or using like very bad practices, this would have been fine. So Nano gets contracted and they only work for Sinder, so Sinder has like the same art style from Nano, because they do like really good 3D models. That's fine, but their practice of burning bridges or spreading gossip to make Nano now work with them, that's so much more bizarre. I mean, if I were them, I'll just wait for Nano to stop working for the people and then have them fully contracted. But by rushing the whole process, by starting drama, yeah, these people are slimy, both Red and Sinder. Oh my, that's what is so funny. FYI, TLDR, but fucking Red is the boyfriend of Sinder, and that's funny because later on, quick spoiler, not that one, she fucking fired him. She fired her own fucking boyfriend because of this shit. And even funnier, further on, because you see her excuse for this and how it's not true, all its allegations. So when this document came out, this one, the really fucking damning one with all the evidence, I think fucking Nano and Bao were talking with each other about this, because when this came out, 642, Bao, came right out with her own document saying, I was very hurt by someone I thought was a friend. So from her point of view, it's a very fine, sad day, nothing wrong. But when this document drops and she sees all this awful shit about her friends, lying about her, oh, I feel so bad for Bao. The fucking heartbreak, because most of the shit is just painful. Okay, for the first thing to cover, if you guys remember, this was a story about how Bao fucking souped up an editor, from Sinder. She stole someone for her own project because she was super envious. So the story, and oh my god, this is a Bao statement about it. I'm in shock and disbelief that this is the narrative they decided I deserved, saying that I harbored an invisible jealousy because my songs flopped, made me feel sick to my stomach. In late 24, I was dealing with debilitating TMG pain that resulted in me having to drain fluid from my jaw joint to open my mouth properly. They both knew this. Oh, that's just fucking nasty, actually. The thing what they mean by flop was that, it didn't fall through. It was never finished. My god. In their defense, maybe like they picked up the wrong way, but like considering like they're both friends, Sinder and Bao, there's no way that Sinder had no idea about this. And furthermore, to change the story, to make Nano not just Bao, because he's super slimy, sweeping up editors. Oh, bro, and this next part as well. And then she pulled up like a list of all the lies in the document, also in the evidence of what Red told Bao. Bao's been getting on our nerves for a while. She hijacked our YouTube editor, constantly picking up artists that we work with, and now she's barking up the tree of one of our L3D animators. I have no idea what that means, and has a way of guilt tripping the others to get away. This is not what friends do. Friends do not sabotage other friends out of business opportunities. Friends do not spread lies to fuel selfish narratives. Friends do not use the private information they get from the privilege of being close friends, just use it to manipulate others. If stepping on your friends and abusing your power and connections is how you get to the top, then I hope you realize no one will be left when you get there. Oh my god, bro. Okay, I don't like VTubers, but when they get angry, they fucking cook. That paragraph, holy shit. And bear in mind, I think this new document, from a Nano, it hit like a truck, seeing all this evidence. And these were from like fucking the more recent ones. They were back from 2024, 2023. They're very old. So for 2 years, there were lies being made about her by her closest friends, Sinder, all without knowing. Holy shit, dude. Also, here's a breakdown of the animator, the editor story, and how also that one was complete bullshit. And alongside that, she wasn't jealous because she had fucking jaw surgery. But she said, regarding the messages where Sinder and Redacted openly accused me of stealing the YouTube editor, Bosra's music video animator, as well as any artist that they have worked with. So here's the editor, Kaiser, and that's when she reached out to them, or her management did. And the story is, on March 20th, I started a group Discord call that lasted 5 hours to hang over my editor. In this group call, Kaiser shared with us that he was afraid to ask Sinder for a raise because he initially turned down an exclusivity deal. As a friend of both Sinder and Kaiser, I encouraged him to take the deal and reassured him that it would not change our friendship, as I would never want someone I care about to miss an opportunity, even if I meant I would lose him as an editor. Oh my, the other editors who were there on the call can corroborate this. Oh my god, so she's being a good friend by not sabotaging, her editors for Sinder, but meanwhile, Sinder, internally, she's lying to like one of the artists that's working with Bao. This fucking friendship was really toxic. Not like from Bo, but like Sinder specifically, like having like different networks of lies for the pure reason of having one single fucking artist. I mean, from what I know so far, Nano, they're a good artist, but are they really that good to ruin all your friendships? I mean, for them, like, clearly, you know, these two people, Sinder and Bread, they're fucking psychotic, but even then, what motivated you? I mean, like, both of these documents, this one and the other one, they're very long, but yeah, I think essentially, you know, I cover like all the big parts, the really damning evidence, and then from there, also recently, Sinder herself made her own response, and it makes no sense. Effective immediately, redacted, will no longer be managing, you know, her boyfriend, will no longer be managing or overseeing my VTuber activities. He no longer represents me as a creator, my brand, or my intentions. Really, I mean, Nano showed pretty effectively that, you know, whatever Red says, it definitely came from you. So what is that about? I'm sorry, everyone. I'll make a larger response when I'm able. Oh my god. I mean, in her defense, you know, I think we should wait for her response. There might be some like evidence that some stuff that he said didn't go through her. But like, still though, what we have so far is very damning. I'll see her response when she makes one, but so far, yeah, you know, it's a very low chance that she has some really good evidence to save her. I'm doubting that. I mean, when I first read this, you know, I thought the idea wasn't that bad. Because, you know, if you're a VTuber, you want like one art style, you know, to be your brand. However, if your tactics, you know, to achieve that is by talking to the artists and, you know, fucking manipulating them and lying to them, yeah, that's super shitty. And it's even worse, you know, because it was her own friends. If it was random club shittos, that would still be immoral, you know. But like, you know, it's her own friends that, you know, she's acting all buddy with online. But meanwhile, she's, you know, sabotaging them. That's even worse. I mean, I never expected like the most, you know, immoral behavior from the VTuber community. But in this one instance, yeah, it's probably, you know, like the most slimiest, the most shadiest. So ironic. I say ironic because, you know, to achieve their goals, they were calling, you know, people like Bao and Shy Lily very slimy, you know. Oh, speaking of Shy Lily, you know, she also made her own comments about this to both Nano and Bao, just supporting them. And even for her, I feel so bad, you know, for Shy Lily, because she fucking also probably backstabbed when fucking reading the entire thing. So overall, if you're friends with Sinder from this point, you know, if you're a big YouTuber, a big VTuber watching this, I would say my advice would be to just fucking leave Sinder, or at bare minimum, you know, be very, very cautious trusting her. That would be my advice. But apart from that, thank you to everyone that watched the entire video. If you did, I really appreciate that. And I'll catch you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Love you guys.